Hey gents, if you love the silhouette and the look of the Stan Smiths, but you want the build quality of Common Projects, there's a huge delta between those prices, but you can get Common Projects quality at half the price. And stick around to find out which shoe really pisses me off. This video has no sponsorship or ads. I'm just a guy that bought a ton of shoes and trying to help you make the best decision. Second, this category evolves a lot, and so this will be a moment in time for the video, but I will have a constantly updated guide on my website. It'll be the first link in the description where I have noted weight and size availability of all the shoes, and I'll cover them each individually. Third, I will have links to each of the brands in the description individually. Some will have discounts. That lets them know you came from me, supports the channel, and let's get into it. So the gap between $60 Stan Smiths and $400 plus for Common Projects, there's tons of options in there, and when brands talk about cutting out the middleman, Common Projects is a great example of that. They're a luxury priced shoe. They don't sell direct to consumer. They do have markup, not just because of luxury, but because they sell through certain channels. And yes, you can buy them on sale if you hunt around, but I'm a fan of straightforward pricing, which is what most of the brands that I'll cover today offer. The reason that people go to Common Projects is not just because it's a beautiful silhouette and it's a beautiful design, but if you buy that $400 sneaker, it should last you 7 or more years versus buying new Stan Smiths every 18 months because they're made to be cheap and they do wear out. And one of the reasons that they wear out is that the leather is designed to be a lower price, but the interior is lined with cloth. As we get into some of the other shoes where they have full leather linings, those are really good at absorbing moisture, getting that away from your shoe, and leather is much more durable than some of this cloth stuff, which is why canvas shoes will wear out faster than a leather shoe. So this is all about buying smart. Here are the brands that are in the review today. Originally, I included the Jack Parcel, Superga, Tree Torn, and some of the other canvas shoes in this video, but I always find that canvas shoes will last maybe 1 or 2 years before they get too dirty, worn down. So while those are great shoes, classic silhouettes, I'm looking for long lasting and value. I was unable to get Gustin sneakers in time for the video. That's kind of its own story. Those will be on the website though. Ace Marks comes out very soon, but I was not able to get samples of those. And then Selected Home, I was not able to get shipped to the US. I've also found that these luxury sneakers run a little bit large. They run more like dress shoes. And so you'll see mostly size 12s today unless otherwise noted. And if that's enough preamble, let's really get into it. Here's the high level, and then we'll dive into each price bucket. If you want the best value in leather white sneakers with great construction and a few trade-offs that we'll talk about, you're going to end up with the Greats Royale, the Beckett Simonon Reed, or, and the surprise of all this, is the Crown Northampton Overstone Derby. But let's touch on each of them and why. So this is where your classic Stan Smith sits in price point, down with the canvas shoes, but there's a much better option, and that is the New Republic Kurt sneaker. These sneakers list for $89, and at that price, they're an incredible value. Not only are you getting an extremely clean silhouette, no marking and branding like on the Stan Smiths, it looks very close to a Common Project. They're comfortable to wear. They came with a great pair of no-show socks. So if you're looking for a sub $100 leather sneaker, this is really tough to beat. Let's talk about some of the trade-offs that they made to hit that price point. So you have a suede lining instead of a calfskin leather, so you're not going to get the same benefits of a full leather shoe. The laces on here are pretty nice. They actually beat some of the higher priced shoes, but the leather isn't quite up to snuff with what you'd expect if you were looking for a Common Projects replacement. It's leather, but it's not calfskin or full grain, and so your mileage may vary on these shoes. It's very close to what you get out of a Stan Smith shoe. The sole is not a margam sole, which you'll see in some of the higher end shoes, and so it is a little bit lighter than the rest, but the durability is going to remain a question mark over the lifespan. Some of my margam soles have lasted 3+ years with very little wear. These are also made in China versus Italy or Spain for some of the higher end brands. So if you're in the sub $100 price category, I actually got these for $60 with my Menlo Club subscription, and so these are really tough to beat under 100. Highly recommend. Now the $100 to $200 price point is where it really gets interesting. You start to get into shoes that have full calfskin leather, full leather lining, so you get the sockless look, margam soles, and the same clean design as the Common Projects. This is where you can get Common Projects quality for half the Common Projects price. The first one, and this came up a lot in my other sneaker videos, is the Stan Smith Recon. This is supposed to be the premium version of the Stan Smith with nicer leather. This retails for $160, and I don't think this is a great value. If you want the Adidas logo and the Stan Smith tongue, I think you can go for it, but the leather on here is not nearly as nice as some of the others in this price point. It's made in China versus the rest of them in this price point are all made in Italy or Spain, and the tongue on here is just as big and garish as the $60 version, and to me it's not worth the $160 unless you really like the branding of Adidas. And so that's the Recon. Going right up the price ladder, we have Frank & Oak. This one is a very interesting pick because it is also one of the cleanest silhouettes that you'll see in this price point. These are at $120, but this is another one where you can feel some of the corners were cut to hit the price point. And also, because Frank & Oak is a clothing retailer, not a shoe manufacturer, they don't have a wide range of styles available, and then sizing availability can also be hit or miss. And so these are $120. These are a great option if you can get them in your size. The construction is top notch, but the laces leave a little bit to be desired, and the leather does not feel like it is the same grade of full calf leather as other shoes, even in this price point. Onism at $150 is made in Portugal, and this is one of the first dedicated sneaker brands that come in as we walk up the price ladder. Full grain leather, a great feel, 949 grams, so one of the lighter shoes in this price point, non-margum sole, and then this will be a turnoff for some people, but it has Onism right on the side here where the Common Projects stamp sits. But they do offer a lot of colors and styles, and so Onism is a cool one to check out. Now we have the Beckett Simonon Reed and the Gustin, because these both come in at $149. Both Gustin and Beckett Simonon have super clean silhouettes, full grain leather. Gustin is made in Italy, Beckett Simonon just specifies that it's Europe, but both of them have one huge downside, which is the delivery times. If you order today in September to get Beckett Simonon shoes, you will get them in December. If you order today for Gustin, you'll get them in January. So they do offer them, but Gustin only offers that white sneaker. They don't have other options within there, and then the sizing availability is going to be very strict based on what your pre-order is. Beckett Simonon has a few other colors, but not other styles. But this is the first shoe as you walk up the price ladder that has the same full grain leather quality that you'd expect in these luxury shoes. The crazy thing about a lot of these made in Italy shoes is a lot of them can come right out of the same factories within Italy. But Gustin, I have heard incredible things about. I will be getting it soon. That will be on the website. Beckett Simonon Reed, absolutely can recommend. You just have to plan ahead in order to get there. And then at $179, you have some stiff competition with the Oliver Cabell, the Greats, and the SuitSupply sneakers. I did a video where I compared the Greats to the SuitSupply, so you can check that out. But in that one, Greats came out on top. And now having the Oliver Cabell and both of these in the same hand, it is extremely close, and it comes down to aesthetics. I can tell you that the leather on the Greats feels better than the Oliver Cabell. The Oliver Cabell is slightly lighter, and then it's also a slightly slimmer silhouette. Where Greats comes out ahead is that the leather lining on the Greats feels like a better leather than the Oliver Cabell. The branding is more subtle on the Greats on the back versus the Oliver Cabell. And then having the dots on here is an aesthetic difference, but it also helps with airing the shoe out, which is a big thing because I wear these with no socks constantly. They've held up really well. And I've had these for a little over a year, but I've been wearing Greats for 2 years because I have a black pair that's a little bit older. This is where you are getting a Margam sole. This does have 70 Shore A rubber, made in Spain, made in Italy. And so this is the first point where I believe you're getting Common Projects quality, but at a lower price. Greats also offers one of the widest ranges of sizes available from all the companies that are in this roundup. They go up to a size 15, and that's awesome. Don't get me wrong, SuitSupply is a great option. You can go check out that video for more, but I'm sticking with the Greats. So now for the dark horse winner that came out of nowhere, Crown Northampton shoes. Now these are the Hello Internet special edition that I ordered, Nail and Gear. I'm a huge fan of the podcast, but they have a pure white silhouette, which is actually the cleanest one out of all of the ones that I've taken a look at. And the reason that these came out ahead is not only are they handmade in England, high quality, beautiful leather, but these are the most comfortable sneakers out of all the ones that I wore. They have an extremely comfortable footbed. They have full leather lining. I wear these without socks all the time, and they have a great sole. They have great high quality wax canvas laces, and the construction is impeccable. I have these ones at $200 because they list for $195, but if you buy them outside of, you get reimbursed the 20% VAT. So these should be $200 with shipping, and I'm going to pick up a pair of the pure whites on these because I like the gray so much. And just the fact that this remains one of those institutions within England for footwear manufacturing, I think that's a great thing. And now we get into the $200 to $300 price point where you really can't go wrong. You have Gemi, you have Axel Arigato, you have Ace Marks is going to come out of this price point, Grand Voyage, and Koio. There's also the price point where you get more dedicated sneaker brands that have tons of style. So like Gemi, Greats is this way, Axel Arigato, they really focus on making the best sneakers, and I'll talk about that later. Gemi really nails it with that clean silhouette, great high quality feel, great laces, Margam sole, made in Italy, comfortable footbed, and there's no branding on the outside. And I know that's going to be a big one. I saw one of the biggest things that I saw in Huga's video on the Oliver Cabell sneakers. Nobody wants to have Oliver Cabell on the back. This has no branding on the outside. Clean silhouette, great high quality sneaker. This is the Koio Capri, comes in at $248. This has become my main go-to sneaker. If it's not the Crown Hamptons, if it's not the Greats, Koio has been this one. Slightly higher price, but this full calfskin leather, this is some of the richest leather even above the common projects in my opinion. It also has the same high quality full grain leather as the interior as the grates, which I really like. Some of the best laces on any of these shoes, and it has a unique differentiator where they have this suede accent, and you can get this in different colors. They also have a full suede model, which I have, which I absolutely love. So this is a great example where if you're looking in a slightly higher price point, you're getting what you pay for in this one. So Koio has been like a big surprise in this. Axel Arigato is interesting. This is more of like, this feels more like a sneakerhead brand. A big turnoff for some of you will be that it has the label on the side here, but it is a clean silhouette. I do like that it's this more pebbled and textured leather. They have tons of different options. This is their cap toe model as you see here. They also came with chopsticks, which is a first for this channel. First shoes ever opened that came with chopsticks. They're made in Portugal and they're one of the lighter ones in the bunch. Now Grand Voyage this is more like a fashion sneaker, but it has all the hallmarks of the common project, so it's made in Italy. This is actually designed to be unlaced, but it's full grain leather. These ones come in at $225 and they have plenty of other colors and silhouettes because it's one of those dedicated sneaker brands. Now we enter the $300 price point, which is where common projects sit. Depending on when you're shopping, I see them listed for $360. I've seen them up in the $450. I think the prices are coming down because you have all this competition. But the shoe that makes me absolutely crazy, because it is the epitome of corporate and luxury greed, is the Raf Simons Stan Smiths. I understand designer tax, I understand margins, I understand the luxury market, and these shoes are a luxury market ripoff. $360 for a shoe made in China of subpar leather because it has an R right here, has Stan Smith on this tongue, has Raf Simons on this tongue. This is the worst buy. Adidas, you should be ashamed. This shoe does not look or feel any different than the Recon, and actually in a blind test, I couldn't feel the difference between this and a regular Stan Smith. And now I'm starting to get worked up. If you love Raf Simons, buy these shoes, otherwise, terrible. So here are my thoughts and observations after spending hours looking and wearing and trying on and touching all these shoes in the last year. Dedicated footwear direct-to-consumer companies are emerging because of the long tail of retail. I'll put a link to that video up above, and that is amazing. These companies that solely focus on making the best footwear will have the best user experience, the best selection, the best inventory availability, and the best customer experience and support. It's the reason that the Frank & Oak shoes didn't fare so well, because Frank & Oak is a great clothing company, they're not a great footwear company. It's like a Swiss Army knife where it's got the multi-tools and all that stuff. It'll be a good knife, but it's not going to be as good as like a dedicated Kershaw knife with just a really great blade. It's the same reason you buy these shoes very similar from Banana Republic, but Banana Republic is going to have a different margin target than the footwear company and different goals than the footwear company. That being said, buy whatever you like, buy the best that you can afford and whatever makes you happy. Also, all the people that are working on these shoes are trying to do their best work, and so I really appreciate that, except for Raf Simons. That's a ripoff. Thanks, Adidas. I can't wait to hear from you in the comments. As always, Twitter and Instagram. Until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.